Yeah, Toyota done did it. They went cheap with the new FJ Cruiser. Just announced today, is this thing a baby Land Cruiser? The so-called new FJ, but don't get excited. It is on Toyota's cheap third world IMV platform, and that is not good news. So let's jump right into what it looks like. It looks kind of like the existing Mick Land Cruiser, but now we got a Mick Land Cruiser on the dollar menu. Toyota is going backwards with their Land Cruiser nameplate. They are not going forward. They are all in on devaluing what Land Cruiser used to be and are now offering, in their own words,
but now more accessible to a new group of people.
Yep, you heard it. Accessible now to a new group of people, that being the poors. Yeah, we get a super duper El Cheapo Mick Land Cruiser dollar value menu cruiser. That is absolutely obliterating the history of the true FJ Cruiser, the previous generations of Toyota FJ Cruiser. How cute. It has the snorkel and molly panels inside. We'll talk about the specs in a second. All right, so first, what is the Toyota IMV platform? It's been out for a few years now, and it is the third world truck platform, the absolute bottom of the barrel ladder frame platform for Toyota. It is used in third world countries like Botswana, regions like Thailand, Eastern Europe. You get the idea. It was never supposed to be here in America, and we don't even know if this thing is going to make it to America. That's how third world this platform actually is. Gone is the classic FJ Cruiser platform, which was based on the old Land Cruiser Prado 150 platform. That was a big, beefy ladder frame, fully boxed in with like 10 cross members. Instead, what you're looking at here is a very slimmed down and reduced bare bones type of ladder frame with way less cross members. This platform, again, has already been used on the Hilux Champ. This vehicle, I think, retails for something like rent money in the United States. A few $1,000s. That's how cheap it is. So let's go over the specs here. As you can see with this FJ dollar menu, I don't have a funny name to call it yet. It just came out. Give me a second, but we'll just call it a McValue menu FJ. Yeah, this thing. Anyway, my point is the most exciting thing about this is the short wheelbase. It is 10 inches shorter than the 112-inch wheelbase on the Mick Land Cruiser, the Land Cruiser 250. And so that puts it at about 102 inches. That's what the wheelbase is. Now, the previous generation Toyota FJ Cruiser, which you all know about, was an absolute tank. Again, this had a Land Cruiser Prado 150 frame, a genuine 150 Prado frame. And its wheelbase, I believe, is 105 inches. So this new FJ is going to be a few inches shorter, which is advantageous for all sorts of off-roading. So let's go over the specs real quick. It's 2 rows and 5 passengers. That's to be expected. What engine does it have? The old 2.7 naturally aspirated 4-banger. I believe in the United States, when they tried to put a 4-cylinder in the 4Runner a few years back, maybe now in 2010, 15 years ago. It didn't last too long, but that's what this engine is. Obviously, it's very slow. It loses the full-time 4-wheel drive, which was the whole point of the Toyota Land Cruiser, and sticks you with this cheap garbage part-time 4-wheel drive. That to me means right off the bat, it's not a real Land Cruiser, because those have full-time 4-wheel drive. That was the whole point of it. Transmission is a 6-speed Super ECT. That's by Aisin. And we won't even talk about the power numbers. Let's just say the Toyota Sienna minivan is more powerful. So what is Toyota promising with this Land Cruiser in quotations FJ? See, even they know it's not really an FJ. It's an FJ. I know you know I always use quoting marks on everything. Let's rewind this just for the record. Yep, that's FJ in quotations. Toyota knows they're playing around. But they're going all in here. So what are we being promised here? What's the bottom line? Well, it's cheaper. That's, as I'm making fun of it here, but Toyota is not going forward with the whole Land Cruiser legacy. They're going backwards. They want to cheapen this brand Or to be nice, let's say they want to have the Landcruiser 300 in market. That's the real Landcruiser. They want the Landcruiser 300 in markets that are worthy, and the United States is not one of them. At least in Toyota format, we get it as the Lexus LX 700 H here. But we don't get a true Landcruiser 300. We get the 250 or the Mick Landcruiser, and now this Mick FJ Landcruiser dollar menu thing. And as our talking head here says, Toyota wants this to appeal to a broader customer base, meaning they want to make it more affordable so more people can buy it. Now, is that a bad thing, a super ultra cheap Land Cruiser FJ? Well, if we're being honest here, we can make the argument that at least in places like America, people have been whining for years that the real deal Land Cruiser has been too expensive, despite it having everything and being ultra luxury and ultra capable off-road. People still whine over the price. They just don't get it. And that's fair. Not everybody is down with a luxury vehicle that also goes off-road and gets dirty, and they feel that that duty should be for a vehicle that's cheap and that's a throwaway vehicle, but still has the reliability of a Toyota. Hence, Toyota's move to cheapen the FJ Cruiser and make it very, very accessible and, as they say, accessible to everybody, and just make it capable and cheap, and then you can just toss it around and do whatever you want with it. So if you remember these things from the 90s, the Suzuki Sidekick and its rebranded version, the Geo Metro, that's what you can kind of think of with this new Toyota FJ Landcruiser value menu, dollar menu thing. It is like this. It is a Suzuki Sidekick / Geo Metro. It's a little toss around, throw around, fun, cheap vehicle that's going to have Japanese reliability, and you just buy it on impulse. It doesn't set you back that much, and you go have a blast with it. And since most over-glampers and off-roaders are going to mess it up and molest it and fondle it anyway and change it all around to build and improve and upgrade and modify and all the other cornball words to screw around with it, they know you're going to turn your Suzuki Sidekick into this thing anyway. So it's ready to be cut up and destroyed and changed into whatever you want for good, cheap fun. Good, cheap, reliable fun at that. So if the Toyota FJ makes it to the United States, and that's a big if on that IMF platform with that very, very weak by American standards engine and transmission, if it makes it to the United States, that's the purpose of this vehicle. It is an absolute toy of a vehicle. I do wish they made it convertible like the Suzuki Sidekick. That would have added in an extra fun factor if this thing could, have removable tops and doors like a Jeep, but they didn't do that. Until then, what you see is what you get. You're going to have independent front suspension on the front, a solid rear axle in the rear. Toyota claims that this thing can articulate as much as the Landcruiser 70. Now, they don't specify whether they're talking about the front or rear axle, but I'm assuming they mean the rear. Do know that there's more articulation in a stock GX460 or the old FJ Cruiser than the Landcruiser 70, so that's kind of just wordplay. In reality, it's hard to see this thing actually out-articulating the Landcruiser 300 GR Sport, aka the real Landcruiser, or something like the Lexus GX550 Overtrail with its EKD-SS front and rear disconnectable sway bar. But as stated earlier, this thing is meant to be torn apart and modified as soon as you buy it by the owner, which means if you're looking for max articulation in this thing, you're going to rip off the sway bar end links on both the front and rear and allow this thing to articulate as much as it can. Or you're going to mod and change the suspension and do bigger tires. These front bumper fender things are easily replaceable. You can hack them with a hacksaw, cut into them to put bigger tires on it. You can see here it's just black plastic. This is meant to be cut into in bigger wheel fenders and mod it and lift it and blah, 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 all you want. And to those seeking to do just that, I think Toyota has got the right recipe. If it makes it to America, this is your throwaway, knock around, who cares what happens to it, mod the heck out of it, whether they're good mods or bad mods. Just do whatever you want with it. It's cheap fun with Toyota reliability. I have no doubt this thing will last a million trillion miles. Yeah, it'll be slow. No, it won't be the most capable. It's surely not going to be luxurious. It's going to be like a worse than a Toyota Corolla inside. But it offers the use of good, cheap Toyota fun. And the big takeaway, and this is a big takeaway, is this short wheelbase. If this thing is truly 102 inches on the wheelbase, that is going to be the best Toyota breakover angle in a long, long time. We're talking in stock form at stock height here. This thing with its very good approach angle and departure angle, even though we don't have the numbers yet, this breakover angle has not been seen in Toyotas in a long time. That is a game changer off-road. Make no mistake, I don't care how low this looks to the ground, this thing is going to be able to go to insane places in stock format that I can't even take my Lexus GX 460 that's modified due to its longer 109-inch wheelbase. In my opinion, if this thing is priced cheap enough in the $40,000 or $50,000 range in America, the breakover angle on this thing is worth the price of entry. It's going to be the closest you can get to a true Japanese Jeep Wrangler insofar as the cardinal angles go for off-roading here in America. So again, I think I got this right. 270 millimeters shorter than the 250 series, which is 112 inches, and I believe 270 millimeters is 10 inches. I cannot understate that enough. That is very, very good for a Toyota Landcruiser vehicle. We haven't seen this in forever in America. That's the most exciting thing. If you can process the whole short wheelbase advantage of this thing, it may help you overlook the obvious El Cheapo shortcomings of the platform.